The government of Turkey. According to the constitution, Turkey's government system is based on a separation of powers. The constitution states that the legislative power is vested in the Parliament of Turkey. It also states that parliamentary elections and presidential elections shall be held every 5 years. The president may veto some of the provisions of the law and return it to the parliament for reconsideration, but the approval of the president is not needed if the majority of the parliament rejects the reconsideration of the law or provisions of the law. Legislative power is vested in a single-chamber parliament with 600 members. The members are elected for a period of 5 years according to the D'Hondt method. Every citizen over the age of 18 is eligible to be a deputy. Members of the Grand National Assembly cannot hold office in state departments and other public corporate bodies and their subsidiaries. Members of parliament can sit on behalf of a political party or as an independent parliamentarian. They are also delegates for the province in which they are elected. A simple majority is required to amend a law and a two-thirds majority to amend the constitution. Bills can be introduced by any member of parliament. The duties and powers of the Grand National Assembly of Turkey are to enact, amend, and repeal laws, to debate and adopt the budget bills and final accounts bills, to decide to declare war, to approve the ratification of international treaties, to decide with the majority of 3/5 of the Grand National Assembly of Turkey to proclaim amnesty and pardon, and to exercise the powers and carry out the duties envisaged in the other articles of the Constitution. The executive power in the Turkish government is vested in the President of Turkey, where power is often delegated to the cabinet members and other officials. The executive branch, under Part 3 of the Constitution, consists of the President and those to whom the President's powers are delegated. The President is both the head of state and government, as well as the military commander-in-chief. The President, according to the Constitution, must ensure the implementation of the Constitution and ensure orderly and harmonious functioning of the organs of the state. The President may sign legislation passed by the Parliament into law or may veto it, preventing it from becoming law unless a simple majority in the Parliament vote to override the veto. On the approval of the President, laws are published in the official gazette and they come into force by virtue of that publication, unless a specific effective date is stipulated within the law itself. The President has also the ability to introduce pieces of legislation by issuing presidential decrees. However, laws introduced by the Parliament prevail over the presidential decrees with respect to the same subject in the hierarchy of norms. Furthermore, fundamental and personal rights or duties and political rights or duties cannot be regulated under presidential decrees. The daily enforcement and administration of federal laws is in the hands of the various executive ministries to deal with specific areas of national and international affairs. The Cabinet of Turkey includes the President and Cabinet Ministers. As part of the separation of the legislative branch from the executive branch, members of the Cabinet cannot be a member of the Parliament during their ministry. In addition to ministries, a number of staff organizations are grouped into the executive office of the President. These include the National Security Council, the State Supervisory Council, the National Intelligence Organization, the Directorate of Communications and the Presidency of Strategy and Budget. There are also state-owned enterprises such as the Turkish Electricity Transmission Corporation, the Constitutional Court, the Court of Cassation, the Council of State, and the Court of Jurisdictional Disputes are the Supreme Courts mentioned in the judicial section of the Constitution. The courts operate within the framework of civil law. The Constitutional Court checks whether laws are in accordance with the Constitution. Since 2005, the legal principles as laid down in the various international human rights treaties have also been assessed. Government institutions, governing parties, and the opposition have direct access to the court. Citizens can also plead the alleged unconstitutionality of a particular law in an ongoing lawsuit. International treaties, on ratification by the Parliament, have hierarchically the same effect as codes and statutes. However, international treaty provisions involving basic rights and freedoms prevail against domestic codes. and statutes. There are also specialized courts for certain legal areas within the scope of the powers of civil courts such as cadastral courts, commercial courts, consumer courts, intellectual and industrial property courts, and labor courts. In CE,